I'm gonna make chile verde. So I have some pork ribs. You can use whatever kind of pork you want, but that's the kind that I like. And then you need a thing of cilantro, 1 onion, probably like 3 cloves of garlic. I like mine really spicy, so I'm gonna use 3 jalapenos. About a tablespoon of salt to boil this right now. And you'll probably need another tablespoon when you're frying them up. And then I use 9 tomatillos. And then you're gonna get your pot and you're gonna put your meat in there and just have it cover the meat like halfway. Well, cover it fully, but not like submerged in it. I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, so now I have my meat about to boil. I should have turned this on earlier so it could start boiling, but you see you have the water just a little bit over the meat, and you're gonna add about 2 cloves of garlic to the water, and then I don't know how much onion this is. See, it's a little less than half the onion, and you're gonna cut it into 2 pieces. I put a lot so it could get like a really good flavor. And then you want to add your tablespoon of salt. That was a little bit over a tablespoon, so I won't add all of it. That is just to give the meat some flavor. And then you can mix it. I'm going to use my knife to mix it. You can mix it around. And this is going to boil over for 35 minutes maybe. You don't have to cook it all the way through because you're still going to cook it when you have your chile verde ready. So just let your meat boil in that for about 30 minutes. Alright, and then you're going to get your garlic cloves. And these are pretty big, so I'm only going to use 2 of them. This is going to make your salsa verde, your actual green sauce for your meat. And you're just going to take the skin off of it. Some people roast them with the skin on. I'd prefer to do it with the skin off. Sometimes it's easier to take it off when I cut them. So there's my garlic. I'm going to make a big old mess here. And then I'm going to get my tomatillos and peel the skin off of them. And then I'm going to put them in this strainer so that I can wash all my vegetables. Now you want to get your comal. I don't know what people call this. I think it's a skillet, but you want to get your comal and you want to put all your tomatoes. I already washed them. So you want to put all these tomatillos on here so that they could roast for the salsa. And I might only have room for those right now. I have a bigger one. I have a Princess House one in the garage. I could totally go and get that, but this one's fine. And your chiles. Let me scoot these around. Put your chiles on there, and your onion, and your garlic. You're gonna roast all of this, and you'll turn it. See when your chiles they start to look like this? I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, y'all could see it. When they start to look like that, you turn them. So you want to turn everything on your comal. And pretty soon I'm going to have everyone coughing in the house. See my tomatillos looking nice and roasted. Let me see, maybe some light. Yeah. See? They're hot. Tomatoes and chiles are supposed to be looking like right now. My carne looks really nice over here too, and I'm going to start some rice in the back. So yeah, that's what we're looking like right now. And then just try your best to rotate them as much as you can and get them like kind of all the way around So I just like move them around, roll them over, stand them next to each other. You know, whatever you gotta do to get them to roast a little bit on each side. And once everything looks about cooked, I'm gonna take it off the comal. You could probably use a pan to do this too if you don't have a comal. I'll take all of this off the pan and let it sit in my strainer to cool off before I put it in the blender. So you just want all of these to feel kind of squishy. Once they're all squishy, that means that they're good to go. Okay, now that my chiles are cooling off, I took my meat out and I'm letting that cool off as well because I want to chop it up into smaller pieces. So we're going to let that cool off. It's been about 35 minutes since I started cooking it. So we're going to let that sit, and then these are, yeah, I just don't want to burn my fingers, so I'm going to wait for it to cool off a little more so we could cut off the tails of the chiles. And then I like to take the pit out of the tomatoes a little bit, and then we'll put it in our blender. I'm going to cut my meat up. It's nice and cooled off into little squares. So I'll cut it like little cubes so that it could cook a little bit better. It's not all the way cooked through, but you're going to fry it right now to get it kind of crispy. And then you're going to prepare your stuff to put in the blender. So you want to cut off the heads of the chiles. And there's the little, I don't know what it's called, but like where the stem is of the tomatoes, and I just pull that little piece off because you don't want to have that in your salsa. And you get your onion, and you just do that to all the tomatoes. And I'm gonna get the cilantro and I'm gonna wash it. But now you want to get your pot that you're gonna fry your meat up in. And I'll put that and get some oil because you're gonna refry your meat. So it's kind of like you're making carnitas, so you want a decent amount of oil in there. So here it's starting to get warm, so just add all your meat to it. Oh, not my piece of fat. I don't want that in. That's gross. And let it get coated with the oil. So that it could fry up. And this is gonna start popping and stuff, so you can add your lid to it so it doesn't get your house all dirty. Okay, now my chiles are done. Everything's roasted. I washed my cilantro, and you're gonna need like 1 cup of water. And let me pull my blender. This is my little salsa corner. Pull my blender out and add all my condiments, or whatever you want to call my vegetables, to the blender. I can't believe it, can you? I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of salt, or less, half a tablespoon. I can't believe it. Okay, now I took all the meat out And I took all the oil out so that there's not a bunch of oil floating in there, and it's all pretty crispy. Looks good. And now you want to add your salsa to this. And you could taste your salsa in case it needs more salt. I love salt, so I always add way too much. And we'll let this heat up. Because you're going to let it simmer for a while so that the chile gets a little thicker. It's pretty thick already, but you want it to get a little thicker. And that's pretty much the way it's going to look. And it's done. So it should look like that. Oh yeah. So that's done, and my red rice is done. We're about to grilled.
Feelings.
Okay, and this is it. Served up. Pretty bomb.